Yo, what is good everybody? Welcome on to yet another tutorial on the channel. A few weeks ago I dropped this free bass one-shots pack. So I mean, first of all, grab that in the description if you haven't already. This video is essentially how I made those basses. I had quite a few requests. I was like, are you gonna do a tutorial on this? I'm like, can do? Yeah, why not? I'd say around 90% of the basses in this pack revolve around one technique, and that is feeding an FM synth through a vocoder with a vocal on it and then smashing the two together with OTT and saturation. I've done a tutorial on this before, but these basses came out really cool and I reckon I've got an even better processing chain for that. So yeah, I'll be sharing that with you guys today. So firstly, I'll recap what these basses actually sound like in this chain and then we'll try to recreate that from scratch. Essentially, I made so many basses for this and only selected the best, so there's quite a few in here. But yeah, this was the last bass I made, if it's recorded here. First bit's a little bit but the last bit sounds cool. Briefly breaking that down before we start it from scratch. Operator, great FM synth in Ableton. I'll play it without the effects briefly. Pretty simple screechy sound. And that is feeding of course into an audio track with a vocal on it and a vocoder. And let's just hear the vocal by itself. It is pitched down quite a bit, so it does sound weird. So chuck a vocoder on that and have the carrier from our operator. And it's sounding a little bit bassy now, and of course this processing chain. Yeah, a lot of pitch warping going on. So that's without the pitch automation. Let's turn the effects on for this. It's hit and miss sometimes. Sometimes you get a good sound, sometimes you don't.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
All you need is an FM synth, a vocal, a vocoder, and maybe some saturation plugins. I use Trash in this, which just beefed it up a bit, but Saturator OTT. So that is the bass. Let's try create it from scratch and hopefully it goes just as well. First things first, we want operator. Low bass. Let's go for F, legato, stretch that out over 2 bars. Alright, time to add some FM. First, operator. We can go even lower with that bass. Yeah, let's go even lower. Octave down. We've got a square D. Square D. It's nuts. Add some random shit for the next couple. I'm gonna mimic what I did for the last one, and that was just automating the level on the second, or operator B, oscillator B. Why do I call it operator B? Is it oscillator or operator? I don't know. But of course that will feed into this, so we want some crazy here, and then crazy here. So, click that, automate it. Pitch envelope worked really well last time, so I'm gonna also introduce that. Click this. We want our peak to be kind of high, and then adjust the pitch. Cool. Erosion. I reckon it's just a little bit of grit on that high kind of region. Might stick with cyan. Noise is a little bit too noisy for what we're doing here. Multi-band OTT. Sounding good. This bass is actually sounding quite good by itself. And saturate. Okay, too much distortion. Need a higher sound. Probably got way too many harmonics, so let's not have that. Actually, we don't really know what this is going to sound like until we feed it through the vocoder and the vocal. So let's do that now. Oh, I wonder where we could get some vocals from. Maybe a vocal pack by Antidote. Subtle.
Smooth. Naughty. She crazy. Oh, some jelly beans. Oh, some jelly beans.
Yeah! Jelly beans could sound quite cool.
Oh, some
jelly beans.
Complex.
Oh, some jelly beans.
Jelly beans. I reckon those vocal... Oh, what's the fucking word I'm thinking of? The transients from the vocals would sound quite cool. So obviously it's vocoder time. Carrier we want from external, and what are we on? Track 7. Nice. Enhance, we want all the bands. 40, you can't see it, it's off screen, but I selected 40. Range to the highest. Depth changes it from our original sound to the external carrier sound, so that sounds like our operator patch before. And that sounds a lot like our vocals. We might mess around with that. And Formants is going to be one of the key players here. So we might want to do some crafty automation here. See what works. I believe next up in our processing chain was a little bit of reverb with decay and dry wet down. Cool. Next up is going to be Trash 2. Absolutely loving Trash at the moment. Oh my god, guys, I'm working on a D&B pack. Chucking Trash on everything. It sounds so good. Let's find something that works. That sounds very noisy-y. Like the start of Tentacles or something. Just that mid-range kind of like that, but that sounds nice. I'm gonna try and remember that for later. That sounds nice. Yeah, more in your face and just... okay, we want OTT after that, obviously. Nice. Saturator. Have I used erosion yet? No, I might do that. I might sandwich that in between. Drivers up, basses up. The first bit sounds good, but it's a little bit messy. There's not like a focused sub bass. It's just... We can play around with operator, we can play around with formants and depth and the pitch of this vocal, so it ain't over yet. So let's tweak the formants. Oh, I got resampling. What am I doing? Guys, a little bit of a tangent. This will sound good. Okay, group that together. A little bit of OTT, a little bit of saturator, and I don't mean 100%. Oh! Just needs to be a bit wider. That's what I was missing from this processing chain. Wider tings. Just, oh, that is a bass and a half right there. Shit. Anyway, that tangent's over. Back to the main bass, which we were working on. Oh my god, that sounds like the start of a fucking Space Laces bass. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. No, second tangent over, you get what I mean. Just the possibilities. This pack was so fun to make because it was literally just like tweaking a few values here and there. Oh, that sounds sick. Resample that, set to record, and just... You just have like so many basses before you know it, and then you can select a bass and create a sick pack. Anyway, we're not creating leads, we're creating basses, so I do want to try a couple more techniques before wrapping up this video. Techniques as in like getting the formants and the automation and shit right. Which the formants are too high. If your basses aren't sounding as bassy and more sounding like a lead, then your formants are probably a little bit too high because it's not focusing on like a lower pitch. See, even that tail end, you just sample that and use it as something. And we'll go into the actual vocal sample and change the pitch up here. Now we're getting it. That sounds sick. I did want to add micro shift, make it a bit wider. Yeah, we're kind of getting to bass territory now. It's a little bit messy on that low end, but that's when you can load up an operator, create a separate sub, like I did here with this little bass thing, and clean up the sub, because I mean, at the moment, it's not really like a focused sub sound, it's got less of an impact. EQ out the bass, chuck in an operator, and boom. It's like fucking Transformers sounds. That is essentially the technique. Or to be fair, you could probably use another style of synth, but FM just gets the crazy screech tones, which really translate well when you're passing it through a vocoder. FM synth or any other synth, feed that into a vocoder on a channel with a vocal on it, and then muck around with, I would suggest, formants, the pitch of the actual vocal sample, and the FM level. Yeah, go hard with processing, OTT, saturator, trash if you got it. And that is that. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Leave a thumbs up and like that smash button. Smash that like button, and I'll see you guys next Sunday. Have a great day, and peace.